Incroyable. On a passé 1000 vlogs. Aujourd'hui, c'est vlog day 1006. Good morning and welcome to day 6 of my 20 and 20. The 20 and 20, each arrondissement done in 20 days basically. There are 20 arrondissements or districts in Paris and I'm hitting each one with a different video every day for basically 3 weeks. Today I'm in the 6th. I'm gonna start by cheating a little bit. I'm gonna go to a coffee shop that is technically in the 7th but is on the border with the 6th. St. Pearl. It's very nice, kind of tiny, but delicious. With coffee comes great power and with great power comes the ability to go to the rest of the arrondissement. Now the reason that I ended up including this in my guide in the 6th was partially because when we first found it, thought it was in the 6th, didn't realize it was technically in the 7th. And second, because the 6th doesn't have a lot for good coffee. They have a lot of famous coffee. They do Magot, Procop Café. Procop Café being where coffee was actually introduced to the city. But they're not really places I would go to get a cup of coffee. They're kind of more for the historical experience and perspective than for the, caffeination experience or perspective. So, started at St. Pearl. We're gonna go straight to a church that I've never been into before and I'm gonna try to get into now, the Abbey of Saint Germain, which was originally basically its own village that had tax-exempt status, and that's why everybody wanted to live in it until they were like, okay, this is over, and tore the walls down. That's like a very basic summation of the history of it. But we're gonna pass Café de Flore, Les Deux Magots. I will of course show this to you. They are in my guide, because you should go. You can't miss out on them, but they're kind of like a one and done type of experience, and only if you're in it for like the historical significance, not necessarily for the deliciousness and price point. That's a beautiful church. I had no idea they had that kind of styling on the inside. I'm gonna wait till I get off these cobblestones to keep talking. The style on the inside reminds me of Saint-Michel actually, with the blue and the gold. It was very beautiful. Highly recommended. Quick visit, obviously undergoing some renovations, but it's really nice. One more church that I haven't been in a really long time is Saint-Sulpice, which is not far away. It's kind of like a big, well, I'll show you here. Saint-Sulpice is fantastic for more than being a church. I think the best part of this place is the fountain, which is on. It's a good sign that spring is officially here when the fountains are getting turned on around town. This fountain with its giant lightens is iconic in and of itself. The church is kind of interesting. The way that I look at it is very much like kind of a simplistic take on a church. It's almost like Roman giants built it. The detailed work isn't as intricate and doesn't start until higher up. Which just kind of makes me think that there were really big people who didn't really care what was happening down at the level of their feet that wound up building this thing. Very nice in there, very lofty. It's not my favorite church. The detail work, there's not as much stained glass. I just don't think it's quite as impressive, but it's nice. Very different from the Abbey. That was cool. Today is literally the first time I've ever gone inside the Abbey. Now, of course, we're very close and have to head towards Jardin de Luxembourg, or the Gardens of Luxembourg, which are phenomenal. But before we actually go in, I have to do two things. One, explore a little bit, see if I can find any Space Invaders, and two, pop by Trez to get another snack. Maybe a fresh juice or something. Both sound great. I already have all the ones around here. I'm wondering if I pop out a little farther away from the park, maybe I'll find one. Oh, I'm gonna show you a really great spot for a croissant as well. It's in my video on the 5 best pain au chocolat in the city, but everything they make is really good and they're not far from here. So I'm just gonna swing by there, show it to you, and then we'll head to Trez. Bread and roses. In my guide, in at least one other video that I've made, super worth it. If you happen to be staying in the neighborhood, come get your pastries on first thing in the morning. They bake them fresh and they don't bake a ton of them, so if you come and you missed them, you'll have to wait till the afternoon for the second batch. I only know this from personal experience because I came, and I think it was when I was actually making the video about pain au chocolat, I had to like go shoot in Jardin de Luxembourg while I waited for them to actually bake the next batch. I totally just betrayed my intention to go farther from the park by coming back to the park. This was a mistake. I really want to go in, but I don't want to take my wheel. Let's go to Trez, grab a snack, a juice, something like that. They also provide really, really great cocktails, which is why we're going to be having the meetup there later this evening. And they're in the game. If you're unaware of the game is on travelunlocked.com. Travelunlocked.com is where you'll find the rules. You can download the riddles. The riddles are available now. You can find everything you need to come play the game. And basically, it's a treasure hunt around town where you go, you collect stickers. Those stickers are worth points. The riddles are also worth points if you correctly solve them. Let me know how hard they are. I think some of them might be really difficult. Hopefully, some of them aren't too hard, but as you go around town, basically you go into different waypoints. That'll give you stickers. They might give you a little bit of a bonus while you're there, and many of them will be able to help you with some of the riddles as you go as well. And then at the end, you can go to one of the 2 base locations and turn in all your points for postcards. If you needed any postcards for your trip, it's a good way to do it. I'm gonna finish up the beta here soon, but you can also fill out a beta survey, get some extra points, and my patrons also have a bonus riddle that gives them some extra points as well. So don't miss out. Très au Jardin. These guys are right across from the Garden of Luxembourg, which is why I'm going to pay them a visit before I go in, grab myself a snack. They're great, and they were my wheel babysitters yesterday when I went into the Pantheon, if you remember. So double thanks to them, because they're just fantastic. In the afternoon, this patio behind me is bathed in sunlight, so it's a fantastic place to come sit, have a nice cold drink, stare at the gardens across the way, and then go visit the gardens, or come after you visit the gardens, or do both. Howdy.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you? Can I have a cold brew coffee, Maya?
You may, of course.
Yes.
Well,
this is their first batch of cold brew coffee. I'm super excited. Ooh, and my feet need a break. This is perfect timing. This is exactly what I needed. The weather just got hot today too, so this is perfect. Perfect timing. I also want some cake or something. These guys are letting me up. So what is this yogurt drink called again?
Kefir.
Kefir.
Kefir. It's like yogurt, but
Kefir.
different.
It's a homemade soda made with yogurt stuff. I don't understand it, but it's delicious. Oh, they make it here. You guys make this in house, right?
Yeah, we do.
You make everything here. So I just love coming in here. I haven't had apple crumble in a really long time. It's so good, and it's gluten-free. They have a vegan option and a gluten-free option, and lots of vegan options. Oh, it's like one of my favorite desserts in the world, and it's hard to find. Oh. It's delicious. I'm also like bouncing because of that cold brew. Whoa! Not only is it delicious, really, really strong. Let's check out Jardin de Luxembourg. I got 2 more things I want to show you today. There's actually one place I really wanted to go today that I'm not going to make it to. I'm under the gun because construction guy that was supposed to come to my apartment yesterday postponed on me and is coming this afternoon. So I rushed through yesterday. I'm rushing through today. Hopefully he actually shows up today. Not a pattern I'd like to maintain. We'll be back at Trez this evening for the meetup. Once again, walking sucks. I'd much rather be on my wheel right now. But the Jardin de Luxembourg is gorgeous, it's huge. The Palace of Luxembourg was built for the mother of Louis XIII and then expanded upon after the monarchy was knocked over, and they built it up to be the Senate So this is where the French Senate is at. So the palace itself, not super accessible, but the garden is definitely accessible and well worth a visit, especially if you've got a picnic lunch and you're ready to come and sit. Tons of benches, tons of chairs, super, super worth it. Absolutely love this park. Time to reclaim the wheel. Zip towards Saint-Michel. There's a lot more you could discover in this arrondissement. There's a lot of amazing stuff. It's also one of the ones I highly recommend you stay in if you're gonna stay in Paris. And of course, if you wanna know more details about where and why I recommend you stay in Paris, check out my guide, link below. Hope you're not getting tired of me saying that, but it's full of good information. So let's bounce down towards the river. All right, can't wait to come back here later. Have us a meetup. I'm gonna have one of them. They've got this really good bourbon cocktail that's been in my vlog before. I don't even remember what it's called, but they'll know and it'll be delicious. In the meantime, ooh, not gonna go this way because that looks like a traffic jam. Let's divert, U-turn time. I'm gonna show you Place Saint-Michel, and then I think that is a wrap for the 6th. Like I said, there's tons more you could see. Lots of places that I opted not to go that I really wanna go, but time limits. So I suppose we'll just have to come back and visit again sometime. Sounds rough. And of course, I don't want to forget that the 43, one of my favorite rooftop bars in the entire city, is right next to Place Saint-Michel as well. Couldn't let that go. I have a few rooftop bars in my guide, some pretty handy ones. That's definitely one of them. Oh, they're delightful. Place Saint-Michel. Well, this is the Fontaine de Saint-Michel. Place Saint-Michel kind of extends back there where you saw some of those tables and so forth. It's a walking district. Of course, if you cross over there, we'll end up back in the 5th, which is where there's a lot more walking district type food. Some of it's good, some of it's super touristy, a lot of it's overpriced, but it's still a really fun place to come walk, find something to eat, stroll down to the river. It's great. This fountain, not on yet, but will be on soon, has St. Michael on it. That's why the place is called Saint-Michel, St. Michael, the Archangel. And that, my friends, is a fairly comprehensive tour of the 6th. Could have been deeper, could have been longer, but you know, you can't hit it all in one go. I'm gonna go ahead and go. I gotta do this construction thing and deal with that, and then a meetup tonight. Might throw in some footage from the meetup, but I might just leave it here. In that case, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning for another round of the 20 and 20, this time in Paris's 7th Arrondissement, which is famous for its most famous monument. And the breakfast burritos aren't bad either. See you then.